guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Arrow Season 2, Episode 6, Keep Your Enemies Closer. I really enjoyed this episode. I really like where this show is going, and there was some really cool stuff I liked in this episode, especially with, Oliver and Felicity, and I also really like the Digg storyline. And again, the flashbacks were not boring. They're really doing a great job making these flashbacks not boring. It's really great. So this was a really great episode for me, and I really love the direction the show is taking. I will admit in the beginning I was kind of iffy about this show, but now I'm really enjoying it. It really is a great show. So, basically, this episode, we start out where we see Roy. He's leaving out a sign so Arrow knows to come see him. And at Oliver's office, Isabel Rochef is angry because Oliver skipped last night's board meeting. And Felicity interrupts the fight to tell Oliver about his evening plans. Code for his secret identity is Arrow. And we see Arrow and Roy watching some bad guys selling counterfeiting plates. Arrow tells Roy that, Arrow tells Roy that he does not need Roy's help. So Arrow moves in, and he starts taking out bad guys, and we see that Digg is using binoculars nearby and tells Oliver where all the hidden bad guys are. It makes it seem that Arrow has eyes in the back of his head. One of the henchmen is getting away, but Roy tackles him. Is this the beginning of Roy possibly becoming the Red Arrow? I don't really know, but it could be. But Officer Lance and some police pull up and arrest the bad guy, but they also arrest Roy. So that's not good, obviously. And then, out of nowhere, these two men surround Digg and use tasers to subdue him. One of the men says, "We have the prize, we're coming home, all this was a trap to get Digg." And Digg is taken to a secret location, and a woman walks in the room to introduce herself as Amanda Waller. And Digg knows her as someone who works for the secretive government agency called Argus. Amanda Walker may be a new name to Arrow, but anyone who reads DC Comics a lot knows her well. She's a government agent, but not a good one. In the comics, Waller is is one of those shady government figures who always seem to be connected to supervillains, which is pretty cool. That she'll not be helpful to Arrow though, so this is not good. But Waller explains to Digg that Lila has gone missing. Lila has gone missing in Russia, and Lila was there looking for Deadshot. And Waller tells Digg that she knows that Oliver is Arrow and that Digg is his right-hand man. She wants him to go to Russia to find Lila. So this was pretty crazy. I really was enjoying this stuff with Digg, though we really don't get a lot with Digg usually. And we did this episode. I mean, Digg, for me, I haven't really seen much of his character, so I don't really know. But I really liked his character in this episode. He really had some great scenes. So at police headquarters, Roy tells Lance that he is working with Arrow, and Lance, who is also on Arrow's team, lets Roy go. And, he lets Roy go. So Felicity and Oliver, they're watching a TV newscast talking about a controversial particle accelerator. This clearly storyline will come up in future episodes, but in the meantime, Digg and Oliver decide they're going to Russia. So then Digg, Oliver, and Felicity are about to board on the Queen corporate jet to Moscow when Isabel shows up. She thinks they're going on a business meeting and she is coming along. When they get to Moscow, Digg and Oliver try to ditch Isabel, leaving Felicity with her. Isabel thinks Felicity and Oliver are having an affair, which is pretty big. Here's the thing. Oliver's not married, so how could the two of them be having an affair? Oliver's not with Isabel, so I don't know how that's possible, but we'll just have to see. But then we see that Moira's lawyer comes to visit Thea and says it looks bad that Thea is dating Roy, who has a long criminal record. Moira's defense is based off her being a good mother, and the lawyer says Thea needs to ditch Roy or the defense won't work. So this is pretty big. So then Oliver and Digg, they go to this bar where they meet an old friend, Anatoly, and Anatoly has information about Lila's whereabouts. She's being held in a violent prison, and he says it's important to break in. The only way is to pretend to be a prisoner, and Oliver volunteers to do so. But Digg knows it has to be him. Oliver is too important to risk like this. And the plan is for Digg to go into the prison for being a drug dealer and then break out and meet Oliver and Felicity at a rendezvous point. And Felicity wants to know why Digg is risking himself like this, and he explains that he and Lila were once married, which is huge. A big twist there. Never would have thought of that. And that was just a really big twist. I was like, what? That came out of nowhere. I really liked now this is where it gets really cool. Digg is taken to the prison where the guards take his coat away. Felicity has done something to the coat, but we don't know what it is yet. Oliver, Anatoly, and Felicity go to buy an armored car. The man selling it to them wanted to double-cross them, but Oliver whispered something in the man's ear and everything is fine. So what did he whisper? So then Thea takes the lawyer's advice and breaks up with Roy, which was really interesting to see. I don't know, I hadn't seen much of this relationship. It seemed like she was a supportive girlfriend and everything, but I don't really know. But in the prison, Digg is attacked by some prisoners who do not like Digg. Digg beats up one of them, and it turns out that the person they're beating him up because they're racist. They don't like black people. And the prison guards take him to a cooler or refrigerator room. They shackle him up by his arms. There's another prisoner also chained in the cooler, and that is Deadshot. And this was just such an amazing scene. But Oliver and Isabel are having drinks together. She admits she does not think he is having an affair with Felicity. She wants to know why he tries so hard to seem lazy and dumb when he is really very intelligent. They seem to be sharing a few tender moments and end up going to Oliver's room, particularly ripping each other's clothes off. Afterwards, Felicity sees Isabel leaving Oliver's room, and she's very upset about this. And this scene I really liked. I like seeing development with Felicity and Oliver because, as we know, those two are supposed to end up together. We know that in the show. We know that's what's going to happen. So obviously, I like that we're starting to see Felicity and Oliver. At first we saw that they didn't really get along. Now we're seeing a lot of chemistry between them. So then in the prison, Deadshot and Digg, they get free. Digg wants to kill him, but Deadshot says he can help Digg find Lila. And if Digg agrees to help Deadshot escape, they begin taking out guards and making their way to Lila. So yeah, that's what was going on there. So then back at the prison, Deadshot and Digg find Lila. Perfect time because the code was a hidden bomb that blows a big hole in the prison through which Digg, Lila, Deadshot can escape. There's a shootout with some guards, but Oliver and his armored vehicle rescue them. And once everyone is safe, Digg orders Deadshot to get out of the car. Digg raises his gun but cannot pull the trigger because it would not be honorable. Deadshot tells Digg that the main person ordered him to kill Digg's brother, goes by the alias Hive. Digg lets Deadshot go. In the DC Comics, Hive is a criminal organization. It stands for Hierarchy of International Vengeance and Extermination. And Thea goes to visit her mother in prison. Roy is there, and Moira tells them both that they should stay together. Moira says her daughter's social life is not what will determine her guilt or innocence at trial. I like that she let them stay together and that they didn't break up because I thought it was unnecessary for them to break up because I haven't really seen enough of their relationship. So, yeah, I haven't seen enough of their relationship, so that's why. But then we see that Digg and Lila, they're snuggling in bed. They look like they've gone back together, and as Lila leaves the room, Digg does an internet search for Hive, and he won't rest until he knows why his brother was killed. So now we have this whole really cool storyline going on with Digg. I really can't wait to see what's going on here. And back at Queen headquarters, Felicity is very upset that Oliver was with Isabel. He explains that his dangerous life makes it impossible for him to be with someone he could really care about, implying that he and Felicity could have a future if it was not for Arrow, and she seems very upset about this. So there's a lot of stuff I really liked about this. There was also some flashbacks that we got, which I'll get to in a second. But there's some really cool stuff here, especially with Digg's storyline. With now he has to find out who Hive is and who murdered his brother. I just thought that whole thing was really cool, and I really liked it. That's not the only thing that was going on, though, because we did get some flashbacks, which I do have to talk about. The main flashback was that Oliver is aboard this bad guy ship, and it's just seen Sarah for the first time in a while. Dr. Ivo comes in. Ivo starts asking Oliver questions about the island. He wants to know if Oliver found a World War II Japanese submarine anywhere on the island. He explains that the Japanese were experimenting with advanced stem cell and genetic technologies during the war, and the Japanese had invented a serum called Miracle that would create super strong soldiers who would heal quicker. The sub carrying the serum was sunk in the area, and he wants Oliver's help to find it. So then we see that Oliver's back in the cage aboard the boat. A Russian man is in the cage next to him. Sarah comes and gives Oliver a coat to keep him warm. She warns him not to tell anyone that they know each other. Oliver tells Sarah that he needs to warn his friends on the island. We see Shado tending to the terrible burn wounds suffered by Slade a few days ago. His body temperature is low, and she calls with him to warm him up. And he now look horribly burned. It would almost seem romantic. So Sarah sets Oliver free from his cell. As Oliver leaves, he promises the Russian next to him that he will come back and save the man. Sarah takes Oliver to a communications room where he uses a radio to contact Shado and Slade. Just then, Dr. Ivo and his henchmen come in. Sarah was not helping Oliver. She was helping Ivo to figure out where Shado and Slade were hiding. So the henchmen on the ship are getting no information out of Oliver, so they want to put a bullet through his head. Sarah stops him. Dr. Ivo agrees because he thinks Oliver can lead them to a Japanese sub, and it says, "You're going back to the island," and that's how the episode ends. So this was a really good episode. I mean, we got some really big developments in the island storyline. I thought there was a lot of storyline there and a lot of stuff we found out that Sarah really didn't want to tell people that she was working with Oliver. She pretended to work with other people. I thought that was really cool. Also, Digg's storyline. Digg's storyline really is pretty big. It's moved along quite a bit. Now we know that he wants to find out who murdered his brother. He's not going to rest till he finds out who murdered his brother. He wants to find out more about this Hive thing. He wants to find out more about that. And I don't think he fully trusts Lila. I don't think he fully trusts her. And also Felicity. What do you guys think about that? Do you think Felicity and Oliver will get together? Do you think that'll happen? And what do you think about Digg? Do you think he'll find out more about Hive? It looks like next week Digg might end up in a coma or something like that. It looked really cool next week, so we'll have to see. But I really enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you guys saw of this episode. I just think these episodes are getting better and better, and it's been a really great season so far. So I can't wait to see what happens next. That's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I gotta go now, guys, because I have to watch American Horror Story, and it's gonna be great tonight, as usual. So I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.